Stan Gibilisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV at your service, to make a little pitch for my book, Ham and Shortwave Radio for the Electronics Hobbyist, due out in October of 2014. And I will also provide you with a little bit of information from that book having to do with how to properly ground a ham radio station. You really need to pay attention to this kind of thing. I will provide a link to this book on Amazon.com for pre-order. I will provide a link in the explanation or description of this video. This looks sort of like the kind of weather we're going to get later on today here in the Black Hills of South Dakota, United States of America. This is an example from Chapter 7, the chapter on antennas in that book, showing how to properly ground your station at A and how not to do it at B. At A, we see the various pieces of equipment that you may have, a transceiver, for example, linear amplifier, maybe a computer and digital interface, and an antenna tuner, all of which need their own ground connections. You connect them all to a common rod, and a metal rod in the back of your operating table, such as a piece of copper tubing or even copper conduit, which then goes to a good earth ground, and this wire here can be pretty much of any length, because the objective of this is to obtain an electrical ground, not necessarily a radio frequency ground. So you want to run your equipments with individual wires as short as possible to this common ground bus, and then a single wire going to wherever the substantial earth ground may happen to be. What you don't want to do is to run individual wires to the earth ground, wherever it might happen to be, from each piece of equipment. Individual wires with a substantial length. Because if you do that, you're going to end up creating, in effect, little loop antennas. Even though they're supposedly grounded for DC and for your utility AC, they're not necessarily going to be grounded for RF. So if one of these loops happens to be resonant at the frequency on which you are operating, it's going to give you grief. You're probably going to get radio frequency energy in your station, known as RF in the shack. You may also find that you have an increased susceptibility to interference from external sources, particularly those on the AC utility line. So here's the right way to do it at A, and there's the wrong way to do it, the worst way to do it at B. Stan Gibilisco, W1GV, saying 73 for now, and so long.